Have you ever wondered why some relationships feel effortless while others leave you drained and unfulfilled? What if the very challenges you fear, arguments, misunderstandings, even your vulnerabilities, could become the fuel that propels your love to new depths? In this video, we'll explore Carl Jung's revolutionary insight that true love isn't a fairy tale of endless harmony, but a dynamic, ever-evolving journey that embraces conflict, honors individuality, and drives us toward our deepest selves. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll discover why conflict can strengthen your bond and how to turn every disagreement into an opportunity for growth. The secret to maintaining your autonomy within love, so you never lose sight of who you are, even as you grow closer to someone else. How to transform your shadows into sources of connection. Learning why your hidden fears and insecurities are precisely what unlock authentic intimacy. The courage to embrace vulnerability without losing yourself, and how this bold step can ignite the most powerful transformations in your relationship. If you're ready to stop treating conflict as an enemy, to honor both your freedom and your partner's, and to use love as a path to self-discovery, you've come to the right place. Let's dive in and uncover how genuine love can reshape not just your relationship, but your entire life. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. I've always found Jung's concept of the shadow both terrifying and strangely comforting. He named it the inner darkness, those hidden corners of our psyche, where our deepest fears, impulses, insecurities, and forbidden desires live. Think of every unspoken worry, every guilty craving, every piece of yourself you tuck away because you believe it's unacceptable or unlovable. That's your shadow, whispering from the depths. And yet, it's precisely here, in these vulnerable, messy places, that true transformation begins. Imagine someone who truly loves you, someone brave enough to hold your hand as you turn toward that darkness, instead of running away. They don't recoil when you confess your scars or flinch at your pain. No, they lean in. They offer a soft, unwavering presence, a sanctuary where judgment has no place. In that safe space, you can whisper your fears aloud, the shame you've carried, the mistakes you've hidden, the parts of you you've been told to bury. And instead of criticism or fixed advice, you receive compassion, empathy, and understanding. It's a profoundly healing experience to feel seen, not only for your radiant strengths, but also for your fragile, uncertain moments. Real love doesn't demand perfection. It doesn't sanitize your story. It wraps its arms around every messy chapter, every shadowy memory, saying, "You are whole, even here." I've often believed that authenticity blooms when we stop pretending to be who we're not. And in my own life, the relationships that have mattered most are the ones in which I've been allowed to be fully myself, light and dark together. When someone loves you this way, they become a mirror, reflecting not just your shining facade, but the soul beneath, the deeper truths you might still be discovering. They sense your latent potential, your hidden tenderness, your wounded courage, and they cheer you on toward wholeness. They don't put you on a pedestal as a flawless idol. Instead, they stand beside you as a fellow traveler, reminding you that growth often means stepping into discomfort. Love in its rawest, most transformative form is a fire. It doesn't burn to annihilate, it burns to purify, to awaken, to spark new life in us. Jung believed that this is the real magic of love, its power to unify and heal the broken fragments of our souls. The journey of true love is not a sprint to happily ever after, but a shared dive into self-awareness, where each conflict, each shadowy revelation, becomes an invitation to grow together more courageous, more human, more alive than ever before. I've always found it profoundly liberating to realize that real love doesn't demand perfection. It doesn't ask you to hide your scars or pretend your missteps never happened. On the contrary, genuine love sees every imperfection as a testament to your resilience, a sacred marker of survival, growth, and the hard-won evolution of your soul. Jung taught us that each of us carries wounds, whether they're faint echoes of childhood fears or the raw sting of recent heartbreak. Those wounds are not badges of shame, but proof that we dared to live, dared to feel, and dared to become more than we once were. Think about the last time you felt truly seen by someone else. Not despite your flaws, but because of them. That moment when a partner, a friend, or a mentor whispered, "I love you," even here, in the very place you feared you were most broken. To me, that is what acceptance looks like. It's not a passive shrug or a casual, "I guess that's okay." It's a fierce, compassionate embrace of your entire story, light and dark intertwined. And here's the beautiful truth. When you allow someone to hold space for your metamorphosis, when they refuse to rush you, refuse to press you into a mold that feels more convenient, something magical happens. Love becomes an unspoken pact, a mutual vow to grow alongside each other. They don't merely celebrate who you are today, they sense who you could become tomorrow. They don't impose deadlines or demands. Instead, they light a fire of inspiration under your dreams, patiently stoking it until you believe in yourself as much as they believe in you. Yes, growth can be excruciating. It can shake you to your core and challenge everything you once held as true. But through that turbulence, real love stands beside you quietly, steadfastly, never abandoning you in the swirling storm of change. It holds you when you stumble, cheers you on when you triumph, and whispers courage when you falter. That is Jung's most profound teaching on love. It is not static or safe or stagnant. It is a living, breathing force that demands authenticity, vulnerability, and above all, the willingness to transform together. When love lives like this, dynamic, courageous, and rooted in mutual growth, it doesn't merely keep us from feeling alone in the darkness. It becomes the very light that guides us toward our most radiant, wholehearted selves. I've come to believe that love is anything but static. It's a living, breathing force that's always in motion, always evolving. It sweeps you up in its currents, guiding you toward a more authentic version of yourself, if only you dare to surrender to its flow. True love, as Jung so poignantly reminded us, isn't a serene land of constant harmony. It's a tapestry woven with moments of bliss and bouts of tension, because when two souls dare to lay themselves bare, they inevitably brush against one another's deepest vulnerabilities. Yes, conflict will arise sometimes in the form of a sharp word spoken too quickly, sometimes as a silent wall of misunderstanding that leaves your heart pounding with frustration. I've felt that sting myself, when an old wound gets prodded and fear or resentment bubbles to the surface. And yet, I've also discovered that these very flashpoints can become gateways to intimacy, so profound it takes your breath away. Conflict, in its rawest form, is simply love demanding to be honest. What separates relationships that endure from those that wither is not the illusory absence of tension, but the brave way partners choose to navigate it. Someone who truly loves you doesn't flee at the first sign of discord. They don't sidestep the hard conversations or twist reality to keep the peace. No, they meet you in the eye of the storm. They lean in, heart open, insisting on honesty over avoidance. They listen, nodding through the tears, the raised voices, the uncomfortable silences. And rather than seeking to win or to control, they extend compassion, striving to understand the ache behind your words. In those moments, dialogue becomes a sacred bridge. It's the lifeline that pulls you back from isolation, reminding you that you're not alone in your fear, your anger, or your confusion. When two people choose conversation over silence, vulnerability over pretense, they create a space where love can deepen instead of dissolve. And isn't that the most beautiful irony of all? That true love isn't measured by how peacefully you float together, but by how courageously you weather the storms hand in hand, eyes locked, hearts unguarded, knowing that on the other side of conflict lies the promise of an even stronger, more luminous connection. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. I've come to realize that the most courageous act in love is choosing resolution over blame. When we argue, it's so tempting to point fingers or protect our pride. But true love invites us to pause, breathe, and ask, what can I learn here? In my own relationships, I've discovered that every heated moment, every misunderstanding carries a hidden gift, an invitation to understand myself more deeply and to honor my partner's inner world. Jung taught us that authentic bonds grow when both people are willing to stare into their shadows, those fear-laden corners where insecurity, old patterns, and unspoken hurts live. I've felt that sting when my projections surfaced, showing me how past wounds can color my reactions. And yet, leaning into that discomfort, confessing my fears, listening to my partner's truths, has been the most liberating, transformative experience of my life. This kind of love isn't about glossing over conflict or pretending everything is perfect. It's a brave embrace of our shared imperfections, a commitment to show up every day, no matter how ugly the argument might feel. Real love isn't a fairy tale. It's a daily practice of presence, of choosing honesty over ease, of weaving our stories together through both laughter and tears. Perhaps the most beautiful lesson Jung offered is the sanctity of individual freedom. Loving someone doesn't mean holding them captive in our expectations. It means giving them space to breathe, to follow their compass, to dance to their rhythm. I've seen relationships flourish when both partners respect each other's dreams and honor each other's boundaries, even when those dreams lead down unfamiliar paths. In a genuine relationship, each person feels safe to be fully themselves, no masks, no rehearsed smiles. They know they can take risks, voice their desires, and pursue their passions without fear of judgment or control. That mutual respect for autonomy isn't cold indifference, it's the warm foundation of trust. It says, I believe in your growth as much as I believe in ours together. When love lives this way, anchored in resolution, self-awareness, and freedom, it doesn't just survive, it blossoms into something radiant and enduring. And I can't imagine a more powerful way to live, learn, and love every single day. I've come to realize how tempting it is to reduce love to mere sweetness, those daily I miss you texts, the soft kisses, the hugs that feel like home. Yet, Jung's wisdom jolts me awake to a far deeper truth. Love is a daring expedition into the unknown, a sacred pact that challenges both you and your partner to evolve. It's not just an exchange of affection, it's a courageous invitation to confront your inner darkness, to shine a light on your deepest wounds, and to embrace every piece of who you've been, who you are now, and who you have the potential to become. When someone truly loves you, they don't shy away from your pain. Instead, they hold you close during your most vulnerable hours, those nights when self-doubt creeps in, when old insecurities whisper that you're not enough. I know, because I've been there, feeling small in the vastness of my fears, until a loving hand gently guided me to stand tall again. That ally doesn't simply comfort you, they actively labor to awaken the greatness within you. They become a fierce supporter of your dreams, celebrating your victories and patiently sitting with you through the toughest lessons, knowing that sometimes the most profound growth is born from the crucible of suffering. Jung believed that genuine love is not a passive lullaby, but a profound commitment to each other's development. I've seen this play out in my own life when a friend refused to let me settle for half-truths about myself, when they pushed me to acknowledge painful patterns and to rewrite my story with compassion. True love does not cling to fragile harmony. It illuminates the shadows we'd rather ignore. It says, I will walk beside you into those dark corners because I believe in your capacity to transform. What strikes me most about authentic love is its refusal to become a competition or a cage. In its purest form, Love dissolves the boundary between self and other, weaving two souls into a symphony of mutual growth. It's not about keeping score or demanding validation. It's an ongoing collaboration to explore life's mystery hand in hand. In this dance, your partner becomes a mirror, reflecting not only your joys, but also your hidden scars, and you learn to see yourself more completely through their unwavering presence, their empathetic gaze. This kind of love is nothing short of courageous. It asks us to relinquish control, to offer freedom instead of possession, and to hold space for each other's metamorphosis. And in doing so, it transforms us, igniting a fire that purifies, awakens, and births a more authentic, wholehearted version of ourselves. I still remember the moment I first realized that love could unveil hidden chambers of my own heart. In the safety of that bond, I stumbled upon parts of myself I had long kept locked away, quiet yearnings, half-forgotten dreams. Even tender scars I'd convinced myself were too painful to revisit. That's the astonishing magic of the deepest relationships. They aren't merely two people wrapped in romance. They are two souls, brave enough to heal and grow together, hand in hand through every shadowed corridor of the self. True love, I've learned, is anything but a polished fairy tale. It isn't about flawless moments or picture-perfect harmony. On the contrary, it's raw, jagged, and gloriously imperfect. It's the late-night confession of an old regret, the shaky admission of a long-buried fear, the gentle comfort offered when tears spill unbidden. What truly matters isn't the absence of friction, but the fierce willingness to keep walking side by side, even when each step feels uncertain. Jung's wisdom rings so true here. Intimacy doesn't thrive by ignoring our differences. It blossoms when we embrace them as pathways to mutual discovery. Conflict, misunderstandings, and those awkward stumbles each can become fertile ground for profound growth. I've seen relationships transform because two people chose to listen deeply, not only to the words spoken, but to the heavy silences, the trembling glances, the tremors of unspoken emotion. In that space of honest presence, love stops being a superficial comfort and becomes an unstoppable force that pulls you toward your authenticity. Imagine being loved by someone who refuses to put you under a spotlight of expectation. Instead of demanding your perfection, they see your flaws, your fiery temper, your stubborn doubts, your restless yearning, and they accept them as part of your unique tapestry. That acceptance feels like kindness incarnate. It frees you from the suffocating urge to perform, to pretend, or to shrink yourself to fit some imagined ideal. In their gaze, you discover permission. Permission to be messy, to be evolving, to be gloriously human. And that's precisely why such love becomes a catalyst for self-knowledge. In that sanctuary, you feel safe to explore the unconscious corners of your psyche, those darkened rooms where fear and hope dance in equal measure. You confront the parts you once thought unlovable and find, to your astonishment, that they too yearn for understanding and light. As you navigate this inner terrain together, your relationship becomes a living mirror, reflecting not only your vulnerabilities, but your vast potential. When true love takes root, it's no fleeting spark, but a constant flame that warms every aspect of your being. It doesn't demand you abandon your past wounds, it transforms them into badges of honor, proof of your endurance, of your courage to survive and to keep growing. And in the steady glow of that flame, you are reminded who you truly are, a soul worthy of both forgiveness and fierce devotion, capable of healing old wounds and of embracing new horizons. In love's greatest promise, you aren't just saved, you are gloriously, irrevocably found. I've come to believe that the truest kind of love doesn't settle for surface-level sweetness or easy harmony. It thrives instead on depth, on that brave act of laying open your heart and letting another soul see you every scar, every quiver of doubt, every flicker of hope. Real love feeds on shared vulnerability, those trembling moments when you admit your fears and your partner reaches out to hold your hand instead of turning away. It's in the late-night conversations and the tears you wipe from each other's cheeks. It's in the way you both choose to walk headlong into challenges together, rather than running from the storms. I'll never forget a time when my relationship hit a rough patch, when life's hardships piled up like dark clouds overhead. It would have been so easy to avoid the discomfort, to pretend everything was fine, or even to walk away. But instead, we leaned in. We treated those difficulties not as roadblocks, but as invitations to know each other more fully. Those sleepless nights, the arguments that left us both raw, became the crucible in which our bond was reforged. In those dark hours, true love shone its brightest. It stayed when most would flee. It held space without judgment, and it illuminated the hidden corners of our hearts, so we could learn and grow, neither rushing nor forcing our journey. And isn't that respect for personal freedom the greatest testament to genuine love? Jung reminded us that love can't flourish in a cage. It demands mutual respect for each individual's inner world, the dreams that keep us awake at night, the boundaries that protect our souls, the quirks and contradictions that make us unique. When someone truly loves you, they don't try to remold you into their ideal. They rejoice in your autonomy. They stand beside you, sometimes silently, as you explore your path. They trust you to navigate life's twists and turns, knowing that your growth only enriches the love you share. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. I've learned that authentic love isn't about becoming indistinguishable halves of a single whole. It's a dance of two complete beings, each with the freedom to spin, to dip, and to shine. Together, you support each other, celebrating triumphs, consoling failures, while still honoring the personal space that lets your spirits breathe. In loving this way, we discover the most profound lesson of all. Before we can truly love another, we must learn to love and heal ourselves. And through that self-love, reflected in the eyes of someone who cherishes our entire story, we find the courage to face our wounds, embrace our darkness, and step into the light of a deeper, more beautiful connection. I've come to believe, through my own tumbles and triumphs, that Jung's most liberating insight is this: true love must spring from our hearts first. How can we ever expect another person to cherish us fully if we refuse to cradle ourselves in compassion? The journey of self-love begins with a radical act of acceptance, holding up every scar, every quiver of doubt, and every awkward insecurity with tender curiosity rather than harsh judgment. I still remember the day I looked in the mirror and whispered, "You deserve kindness," and felt a small, trembling spark of something new, hope. When someone truly loves you, they don't just shower you with compliments and grand gestures. They gently remind you that love isn't a prize to be won externally, but a garden to be nurtured within. They urge you to name your needs, to trust your cravings, to honor the full spectrum of your feelings, even the messy, inconvenient ones. In my own life, I've found that having someone by my side who celebrated my tears as much as my laughter was like discovering a secret key to my soul. Jung called this lifelong unfolding individuation the miraculous process of growing into your most authentic self. It's a path strewn with both petals and thorns, moments of radiant clarity and nights of shadowy doubt. Real love, the kind that propels this transformation, doesn't cage you in codependency or demand perfection. Instead, it hands you a compass and whispers, "Go boldly." It gives you space to experiment, to fail, to reshape your dreams without fear of criticism. And all the while, your partner stands as witness and ally, celebrating each small victory and holding your hand through each painful lesson. To love in this way is to engage in a co-creative dance, two souls weaving their individual stories into a shared tapestry of courage, vulnerability, and growth. It's an alliance built not on sacrifice, but on mutual freedom, where each person is empowered to flourish, supported by the unwavering belief that you are enough just as you are. I felt that rare gift when someone looked at my flawed, beautiful self and said, "I see you every broken piece and every spark of brilliance, and I love you through it all." In the end, Jung taught us that true love is not a static emotion but a living creation, an ever-evolving masterpiece of shared meaning. It's the force that urges us to face our darkest fears, to cradle our tender wounds, and to emerge stronger, more whole, more vibrantly ourselves. And when you find someone who walks this path with you, embracing both your shadows and your light, you discover that love isn't simply something you receive. It's the powerful alchemy that transforms you from the inside out. I've come to realize that the most transformative love is the kind that liberates you to be your truest, most unmasked self, no carefully crafted persona, no rehearsed lines, just the raw, vulnerable you. It isn't a hiding place from the world's storms, nor a cozy refuge to escape your pain. Rather, it's fertile soil in which you can plant your dreams, breathe deeply, and watch your spirit stretch beyond any limits you once believed were immutable. To me, there's nothing more powerful than feeling my heart expand, because someone sees every messy, beautiful facet of me and still chooses to stay, to nurture, and to celebrate my essence. This love forms a sacred container where my strengths and my scars are held with equal reverence. In those moments of quiet honesty, when I confess my deepest fears or reveal the parts of myself I've hidden for years, I feel seen in a way that ignites a quiet fire of possibility. That mirror they hold up is not one of critique, but of compassion, reflecting my potential, urging me to heal old wounds, and guiding me toward a profound sense of wholeness I never thought possible. I've learned that genuine intention in love is like a gentle current pushing me toward growth, gently yet unrelentingly, encouraging me to confront my shadows so I can emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with my higher self. True love, as I've experienced it, is devoid of control or cages. It arrives without demands, without rigid expectations, offering instead the freedom to embrace every part of who I am, even the sides I've long feared or rejected. It shines a light into my darkness and transforms broken fragments into shining mosaics of resilience and beauty. In that freedom, I find the courage to stand fully in my authenticity, unafraid to stumble, explore, and redefine myself. At its core, real love is a creative alliance, a glorious partnership, where two whole individuals weave their lives together in a dance of mutual respect, deep authenticity, and shared evolution. It's not about filling a void or completing an unfinished puzzle. It's about sharing journeys side by side, cheering each other on from the wings of our unique stages. It's in that balance of love and freedom that I've discovered the sweetest truth I was already whole, and together we choose to flourish not for each other's sake, but for the radiant selves we were always meant to become. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of true love. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What insight has resonated most deeply with you so far? Which lesson will you carry into your own relationships and daily life? Drop a comment below sharing one thing you've learned today and how you'll put it into practice. Your experiences not only help you grow, but they also inspire our entire community. If you found value in this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us create more content that guides you toward deeper connection, authenticity, and growth. See you in the next video.